You arguably could be one of the poster children of a physician scientist that has clearly navigated the bench to the bedside. How did you do it?
I think that it was largely because of the freedom of the intramural research program at NIH, because when John Schiller and I started doing this, we had zero background in doing translational research,
Right.
and the word had been invented by then. And we had no background in vaccines, immunology, but we had studied papillomavirus biology, and the NIH gives you resources, and we were fortunate enough that Reinhard Kernbauer, who is a dermatologist at the University of Vienna, was a postdoc in the lab at that time, and he was willing to take a big chance. And luckily for all of us, it worked out, and luckily for patients as well.
Let me follow up on that word, luck. So Lefty Gomez was an all-star pitcher for the Philadelphia Athletics and the Boston Red Sox, known for many quotes, one of which was, "I'm the man that made Joe DiMaggio famous." But his most famous quote, and the one that I really think applies to myself, is, "I'd rather be lucky than good." How do you feel about that with your scientific career?
Well, clearly, luck plays an important role, but I really do feel that serendipity is easier to see and understand and exploit if you have an appropriate background, so that when something presents itself to you, you recognize it.
So chance favors the prepared mind.
Yes, sir.
Or other people would say we make our own luck.
I think an important part of research is not just exploring a new area, but also knowing when it's time to stop exploring an area so that you have more time to do other new things.
You sure I didn't give you these questions ahead of time, because you're leading me perfectly. So Albert Szent-Györgyi, known for, amongst other things, vitamin C and the Krebs cycle, and a mentor for many Hungarian scientists that had to flee, and I was fortunate enough to work with one of those, Gina Matolci, and I got to know Albert Szent-Györgyi. Albert Szent-Györgyi, during his later years, divided scientists into two categories, Apollonian and the Diocenian. And he said that the Diocenian were the ones that worked on the fringes of scientific knowledge, oftentimes having to rely only on intuition and their gut feeling, whereas the Apollonian worked along established scientific lines, often to perfection. He also felt that the Dionysians were more likely to uncover new fields, make new discoveries. And then parenthetically, he said that the funding mechanism at that time, which was the late 70s and 80s, as he put it, unduly favored Apollonian.